Hello, this is Dr. Tracy. Welcome to Kingdom Recovery just for today. Today I want to talk about the topic, have you ever fallen? What do we do when we fall? In our journey of recovery, no matter whether it's our self-esteem and our self-worth, or not rehearsing pain that we've gone through, or from our addiction, when we are in the process of obtaining our freedom and we're on that journey and on that path of freedom, there are going to be times when we fall down. And we have to learn that it's not about falling that stops us in our journey. It's about not getting up. And I was thinking about a couple of verses and readings in our big book. One is Proverbs 24 says, if a righteous man falls 7 times, he shall rise. And then there's another one in Psalm 145 that says that we don't really fall down because the Lord's hand is under us and he will always lift us up. So I want you to know today that even if you failed at something, even if you've made some mistakes, maybe you've relapsed and you're trying to get back up. Maybe you've relapsed in your thinking. Maybe you relapsed in your emotions. Maybe you've relapsed with a substance. In whatever way you've fallen, I want to tell you that when you fall, there is mercy available to you. And I want to talk about some things about when we fall. When we fall, we've got to have that reality check. We have to ask ourselves those hard questions. Why did I fall? What things and what signs and what red flags did I ignore when I made the choice to use? When I made the choice to go back to my hole of depression? When I made the choice to take anger up again? What things did I ignore that the teacher, the Holy Spirit, was teaching me, or my higher power God was trying to get across to me? What things, what truths did I let go of that made me vulnerable, that made me willing to give into something that now I'm fighting and now I feel like a failure? Don't ever let falling become your definition of who you are, and don't ever let one misstep or mistake that you've made, or even many mistakes that you've made, stop you from getting back up and from acknowledging the fact, okay, I fell. It's time for me to take hold of my higher power's hand and get back up. And I'll talk about getting up another time, but take time to reflect. Take time to question yourself and get self-awareness about why you chose what you did and why you had this misstep or this fall, right? And then also, take note to acknowledge the areas of yourself that are still weak, that you still need to grow in. Ask yourself, what didn't I do to keep my garden, to keep my heart right, to keep my mind right? What was I speaking? What was I thinking? What was I feeling? And address those aspects of your soul. Remember what your soul is. You have a mind. You have a will, your want to. So you're thinking, your want to, and you live in a body, and it's subject to your spirit. So you are a spirit, and you have a mind. And in that mind or that soul lives your mind, your will, and your emotions. What was I feeling? What did I really want? Because see, you have to own up to why you did it. You only do, are you ready? I'm going to help you today. You only do what you want to. You only spend your money on what you want. You only spend your time on what you want. What you want is what you give yourself to. So you have to acknowledge the fact, I wanted to go get high, or I wanted to feel different. And that goes on to my next thing about when we fall, what should we do? We have to ask ourselves another question. What could I have done different so that this doesn't happen to me again? If this arises and this temptation comes, God promised you with every temptation, he will always provide a way of escape for you. So we have to ask ourselves, what could I have done different? So that next time around, when this dog creeps at my gate, because that's what the big book tells us, is that the devil or our deceiver or our thief is going to lay at the gate like a dog looking for a crack to get into. So next time, what will I do different that I didn't do this time? And then after we look at what we could have done different, then we have to ask ourselves, what can I do better? What can I do better to be prepared? What can I do better when these types of things come? Where are my weaknesses? How can I better myself? How can I add sustenance to my life, strength to my life, foundation to my life, so that I'm not so easily swayed? See, because also, we're told that a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways, and when the winds blow, they'll be tossed to and fro and don't really know where they're going. You don't want to be like a boat at sea with its sail just moving any kind of way it wants to. You want that sail to grab the wind and go in a certain course. And that foundation of truth is the rudder that keeps your ship in line with the wind of God where He's blowing you. Where is God taking you? Get grounded in what you could do different, what you can do better to stay grounded on the path. It might be writing your vision down. It might be expressing the areas of your life and working on the areas of life that you need to get stronger in. How did someone dupe you? How did someone deceive you? How did you give in to your own temptation? What craving, what desire led you there? And thirdly, what can I do different? What can I do better? And what can I do more? So what you can do better, then you need to do more of it. You need to repeat it over and over, because it's upon line and precept upon precept that values and beliefs and habits change in our life. And we're going to talk about belief system also in our time on recovery, because if we don't know what we believe, then we're going to believe what anybody tells us, or we're going to believe what somebody else believes and not have a true foundation of belief for ourselves. So when we fall, we've got to do that, and we've got to we've got to take inventory of ourselves and repair the damage. Whenever we fall, there's going to be some damage. You ever fallen down? I had a friend recently who fell down and hit her knee really hard, and it got swollen, and it was bleeding, and she had to take care of it and soothe it and comfort it and put ice on it. You've been damaged somewhere in your belief system when you fall, and so you have to take time to heal. You have to take time to repair the damage. You can't just walk away and act like nothing ever happened and, oh, well, here I go. No, repair the damage. If a storm came and hit against your house and beat against your house, are you going to go around and take inventory of what got damaged? Sure you are. And after you look at the damage, you say, okay, what can I fix first? What can be fixed quickly, less expensively? Maybe it's just cleaning up the yard first and throwing away the debris, and then, oh, that window got broken. Oh, that door is hanging. I have to put a new hinge on it. I lost a few pieces of siding, a few pieces of roofing. Something happened to the foundation, and I've got to raise up the foundation and refortify. Wherever the damages are, you've got to do an inventory. And then you've got to repair the damage. And then after we repair the damage, we also have to remove the debris. You got to take the trash out. You can't leave it around and hold on to it and hold yourself in guilt, hold yourself in shame, hold yourself in captivity to what happened, because every time you walk past that debris that you gathered in a pile, you start reminiscing and thinking about things that will break down your self-worth and your self-esteem. So recognize that you got to clean up the debris. And the last thing I want to tell you is to take opportunity where you missed it and make a declaration, and go forward. So what I mean by that is begin to talk about where you missed it. Tell others how you failed, because every time you tell your story, the Bible, the big book of recovery, says this: you shall overcome, first of all, by what Jesus did for you, by the blood of the Lamb, and by the word of your testimony. So our testimonies, we think, are only all the great things and the good things that happen. No, sometimes your testimony is, this is where I messed up, and I am not going to allow the devourer to come in again in that place. I'm going to keep that gate closed. And this is what I did. This is how I do better now. This is how I do more now. This is what I do different now, so that you can help free somebody else. So talk about it and testify. And the last thing it says, you shall overcome by the blood of the Lamb, the word of your testimony, and not loving your own life even unto death. That means dying to your own reputation, dying to what people might think of you when they hear your garbage and they see your debris. No, be bold about it. Let others know where you've missed it. Well, our time is up today, but I just want to tell you that when you fall down, when we fall down, we get back up. The person that falls is not a loser, has not lost. It's the person who never gets back up. Get back up in your recovery, whether it's get back to your scriptures that you were meditating on, get back to going to the gym and working your routine, get back to your therapy where you haven't been going, get back to taking your medication. It might be getting back to meetings. It might be getting back to calling your mentor, calling your accountability partner. It might be just different things that work for you. Remember, all of us are on a different journey and all of us have something to do. Get back to that place of your recovery. What is that? It's restoring back to a normal place of health, mind, and strength. God bless you and have a great day. I'm Dr. Tracy and this is Kingdom Recovery. Just for today.